and thank you for joining me. This is the Get on Google webinar, where I'm going to show you how to get listed on a profitable page one Google search, which is something every business can benefit from, no matter what you do. So first, let me tell you our agenda for today. Tell you a little bit about me, how I know, what makes me an expert, give you a few stats about Google. I like to call them the big G, so we'll talk about the big G. Tell you how Google works, tell you how to find the right search page, because all search pages are not created equal. Show you how to find the weakness on the page that you can take advantage of to be listed multiple times, and share some success stories to inspire you to take some action. So first, there is a Q&A and questions box here on your webinar. Please leave any questions you have in that box, and we'll take care of them at the end of our session today. And please, when you leave a question, make it a complete sentence, because we might not get to answer it when you ask the question. And if you leave a complete sentence, it allows me to understand what you were talking about once we've moved past it, so that I can get it answered correctly. Replays are not going to be available for this session, so take some notes and be ready to rock as soon as we're done. So let's get started. Who am I? My name is Jean Scally, and I run a business called Genius Marketing. I help local businesses to be found online and offline and to grow their list. I am also a best-selling Kindle book author, a speaker, and a coach, and I'm not telling you these things to brag about myself or toot my own horn. I'm telling you these things so you understand where I'm coming from. I do these techniques for my clients, and I have proven results. So I know what I'm talking about. I know it works with any business. I work with all different types of businesses to get them listed on page one of a Google search. So that's where I'm coming from. There's my background. So a little bit about the big G. Google started in 1996 as a research project at one of the Ivy League schools. It was funded in 1998 for $100,000. In 2012, Google had $50 billion in revenues. And most of that, probably 80 or 90% of that revenue stream, came from paid advertising. So Google does a couple of things really, really well, and one of the things it does is sell ads. You don't have to buy ads to do well on Google, and I'll explain more in a little bit. Google is really large in terms of data and what it knows on the internet. There are 100 billion searches done on Google every month, and that number is probably an underestimate at this point. That's roughly 5 billion searches every single day. That's a lot of people looking for a lot of information every day, and they turn to Google. Google is a trusted name when it comes to finding things on the internet. You should know that buyers look online even before they go outside and shop local. In fact, most buyers will search for things online, and even before they make a decision to buy, they will go to a local shop to see it, to look at it, to try it on, to touch it, to feel it, whatever it might be. 85% of page clicks on Google go to the organic listings. And when I say organic listings, I mean those listings that are not paid advertisements. So the way that breaks down is roughly 53% of those clicks go to the number one organic listing on the page, 15% to the number two, and the numbers dwindle down after there. 9% go to 3, 6% to the number 4, 4% to the number 5. But most of those clicks go to the top 3 spots, as you can see. So now, a little bit about the internet. There are about 2.5 billion unique users worldwide, so about 2.5 billion people using the internet on a regular basis. 294 million of them are adults located in the United States. In July of 2013, just a couple months ago, Google knew about 38 trillion web pages. So I'm pointing this out to let you know that the internet is a really, really, really big place. If you sell a service or a product, you have a potential very large audience. And even if you sell locally, especially here in the United States, a lot of people are connected to the internet. A lot of people go to the internet to do their research. So whether your business or service or product is something that's globally applicable or locally applicable, you need to start thinking about and planning and having a strategy for how you are on the internet and how people find you. And that's where Google really comes into play. So what does Google want? Google really wants to give you what you want on its very first delivery, its very first try. And it knows that people want a variety of things. So Google wants to give you web pages and video. It wants to show you press releases. It wants to show you pictures. It wants to show you sound files. It wants to give you what you are looking for. And so when it does display something, it gives you a variety of things based on what other people doing similar searches click on when they get their results. So things that get a lot of traffic or a lot of clicks are probably going to be displayed. Things that are highly rated are probably going to be at the top of this list. So for example, if you have a restaurant or a bar and you have a lot of reviews and all those reviews are really positive, Google knows when it gives people a list of restaurants that have been reviewed that the ones that are going to get the most clicks are the ones with the highest reviews. So the ones that have low reviews or no reviews are probably not even going to make the list because Google wants to give you what you want. So how exactly does Google work? Right? Google is a big giant software program. It goes out on the internet and it finds content. And Google actually reads the content, not traditionally the way you and I would sit down and read a book, but very similarly. It looks at words and it gives words value, and that value adds up. So if something talks a lot about dogs, for example, then when somebody looks for something related to dogs, Google's going to say, hey, I have this document over here that's dog, 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 dog. And it's going to match the two and deliver it. In order for Google to read the content, it literally needs words. So Google cannot read a picture. It cannot read a video. It needs words. And it takes this content, it reads the words, figures out what the words are, and it builds lists so that it has lists and lists and lists. Lists of dog pages, lists of restaurants, lists of Italian restaurants, lists of Italian cookbooks. I mean, you name it, Google has it in a list somewhere. And when somebody types in something to look for, it matches what they are typing with the list. And if the list matches, then it starts to deliver the content. And it does this almost instantly. It's really, really rapid. So these are important points. Important that it reads content and that content is words. Important that it builds lists of content and matches those lists to what's being typed into it when somebody's doing a search. And that it does it almost instantly. Those 4 points are going to be really important here in a little bit. So how does it build the list? Well, nobody really knows. Not even Google employees know. And you're probably scratching your head and thinking, what? How is that even possible? The way it builds its list is its secret sauce. And Google builds a list differently than Bing, differently than Yahoo. Yahoo builds it different than Bing. Everybody has their own secret sauce. And Google will not tell you what the secret sauce is because Google doesn't want you playing games with it. But you can figure out what the results are, or what the secret sauce is, rather, by paying attention to the results. If suddenly something is starting to trigger pretty rapidly, then it's probably a piece of code that's been added. And here's the other piece is Google changes the secret sauce recipe, the algorithm, regularly. Some say that algorithm is changed daily, and I don't doubt that. And Google employees, people working on the code, never really know if their code is in or out because these things change daily and Google keeps it all under lock and key. So knowing that, how do you actually take advantage of what's going on and put your business on there? Well, there are some tricks that you don't need to know a lot about to actually get on a page. And I'm going to show some of them to you right now. Some pages on Google are what I call money pages. I call them money pages because businesses listed on these pages are making money on these pages. One of the easiest ways to spot a money page is to look for a page that has ads along the right side of the page. Now, ideally, you will see a page that has 8 ads on it. 8 ads is a full ad page. That space there on the right is called the ad doc, and 8 ads is the most that Google will put on a page. So a full ad doc is a money page. Those ads are there because the companies that are buying those ads are making money on that page. So an ad page, a full ad doc on a page is a money page. Now, some pages do not have ads. If there are no ads at all on the page, I would say don't even bother with that page. Don't bother being listed. Who cares? Nobody's making money on it. It is not a money page. You don't want to be there. Now, there are pages that have maybe only 1 or 2 ads, and sure, those are pages where somebody's making some kind of money, but not really worth a whole lot of your time and effort. So look for a page with a full ad doc. Be on the money page. So I'm going to show you what a typical search result looks like. Here I'm just going to type in a term in Google. I'm going to pull up a page and show you some of the things you'll see on it. At the very top, you'll see the search term that you're looking for, and just below that, how many total web pages Google has indexed for this term. So your number could be very small. It could be 60, 70,000. It could be really large. It could be millions or trillions even. On the right side is the ad doc that I showed you, or told you about rather. 8 ads is a full doc. That's a really good thing. So you want to look for pages with 8 ads. Now, because Google knows where I am, it's going to show me things that are close to me, because Google knows whenever it gives results that people click on the things that are closest to them because they want to shop local. So this map that you're seeing here is Google's attempt at showing me businesses that meet my search criteria and are in my area. So there are also businesses listed on the left side of the page, which is typically where organic listings are, that relate to that spot on the map. And that's going to be really important here in a couple of minutes. Now, the remainder of items on this page are what is known as organic listings. And organic listings are the listings that show up on the page that are not paid advertisements. So these are websites and social media sites. They can be videos, images, all kinds of things that Google knows are related to the topic being searched for. And they show up here organically. And they are ranked and placed on the page according to Google's secret sauce formula. So here's a quick recap of what you'll see on a page. There's the search term showing at the very top, along with the total number of pages found that match that term. Ads are on the right in the ad doc. Full doc is 8 ads. There's a map, and there are points on the page that match the map. And everything else is an organic listing. And one other thing is sometimes there are paid ads at the top of the page and on the side of the doc. That's a super hot page, by the way. So now, how do you go about getting onto that page? It's really a question of finding the page's weaknesses and working from there. And to find the page's weaknesses, you need to look for the things that are missing. Like, is there a Google Plus page? Is there video? Is there social media? Is there any picture being displayed on the page? Are there reviews? Is there any news? Are there any sound files? Look for all of these pieces. Find what's missing, because if it's missing, it's good for you. Those are the ways you can get onto this page. So look for the page weaknesses. And that's exactly what your next step is. Your next step is to, once you've mapped out where all those weaknesses are, create a plan where you fill in the weaknesses so that you can show up on the page. And if you fill them all in, what ends up happening is you end up showing up on the page in all of those categories. So you want to use the exact term that you're searching for, and you want to use it everywhere. You want to use it in the file names, you want to use it in the headers, you want to use it in the content of the stories, you want to use it in your titles on your social media, you want to use it in your about sections, you want to use it in the alt and the meta tags for the descriptions on your page, which I know are technical terms, but your web developer knows what those are. Now, before you go running off like a little kid, filling in those words everywhere you can and just stuffing pages of content onto your website, remember not to spam Google. Google is smarter than you. Google wants you to be natural with your language. It doesn't want to see lots of big, fat, bold text all over the place where it seems like it wouldn't fit. It doesn't want to see the same words repetitively used again and again and again. It doesn't want teeny tiny type at the very bottom of the page, and it doesn't want text that's the same color as the page. Those are all ways to spam Google, and those will get you thrown off Google. So Google watches for spam, and it punishes people it feels are trying to game it. Take advantage of these weaknesses, but don't get too crazy with them. Just do things in a natural, realistic manner, and you'll be set. Okay, now I'd like to give you a little inspiration and tell you about some success stories that I've had working with filling the gap. My first success story is with a real estate client of mine who's also a good friend. She had a house that she wanted to sell, and we got 6 out of 10 of the organic placements on the page, which led to 20 or more viewings in the very first week we did it. And we got her showing up on the page pretty close to when we put the video out. And that video is still on that page, and it's been months and months, and we've done nothing to it. So there's a pretty good success story. Because of the traffic we drove to call her about this house, the house sold pretty quickly. My next success story is with a travel business. Now, this is a travel business with very specific location-based customers. So the travel business is located in Florida, and its customers are located in Canada. And they specialize in selling trips that cost between $2,500 and $4,500 to take Canadians to Florida on vacation. We got 3 out of 10 of the organic listings the very first week we put a video up, and it pulled in all kinds of other pages, and got 3 immediate phone calls that week. So think for a minute what this might mean to the business. If he sold 3 $4,000 trips the first week he took advantage of the gap and filled it in, that's a pretty good deal. I mean, that's, a good chunk of change. Now, my third case is with a specialty pet breeder, and they sell designer dogs, like what I like to call pocket puppies. And we got 4 of 10 of the organic listings and sold 4 $1,200 puppies in just 8 days. That was in 8 days from the time we filled in the gap. So that's a lot of business. That's driving a lot of customers in, even if the page looks like it's a small page or doesn't get a lot of traffic. Imagine what this could do for your business. So what's next for you? First step is to create your plan, and by that I mean find your keywords, find your gaps on the page, and start making a plan, or start actually filling in those gaps on the page so that you show up. And that is the easy way that you get on Google. It's not difficult. Don't overthink it. Just find your terms, find the gaps, fill the gaps, you show up. Now, I know this all sounds really overwhelming right now, but if you want some help, I've got something to make sure you get it right that will hold you accountable and guarantee your results so that you get on page 1. And what that is a done with you training program. It's 6 weeks long, and I do everything step by step with you in 6 one-hour weekly webinars. It includes a membership site where you'll find all of your class recordings. You have access to it during your class and for 3 months after. There are video and graphic resources, community forum with people just like you working the same things, and a money-back guarantee. Class starts on September 18th, and price is $495, but for this group here, I'll take $100 off if you register by midnight at the end of the week. And then you can register for class at jeanius-marketing.com/Google-training-ALB. And you can also follow me online. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Pinterest. Find me and let me know how it's going for you. I'd love to hear about your success.